The host ministry for this bill before the Bills and Legislation Committee. Before Imtala go into our session, we will open with a word of prayer. It's a new day, and let's continue to acknowledge our good Lord for His love and blessing. I shall lead us in praying. We pray. God, loving Father in heaven, me Father, thank you for this Father great day where you give me Father outside. Sun, may come up, blessing you, Lord, me Father, Heavenly Father, and continue for representing Lord, me Father, that love you for life, Lord, me Father, him continuously. You have mercy, Lord, me Father, forgive him sins, Lord, me Father, and our shortfall as me Father carry out responsibility, Lord, me Father, for our people and our nation. We pray now that your Holy Spirit will be with us in this session and continue to inspire us so that whatever we discuss by me for the better of our nation and what is before us. Thank you, Father. We pray and ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you, Thomas. Again, welcome, PS Waitem, your team from the host ministry, Ministry of Health and Medical Services. As I alluded to, we have before us the bill, Dangerous Drugs Amendment Bill 2025. Thank you for working on this bill, and it's now before Parliament, the Parliamentary Bills and Legislation Committee. Me welcome every member of Team Layu. On the committee, I'm also grateful and appreciative of the presence of my two powerful colleague members on my right, Honorable Matthew Wale, and on my left, Honorable John Tin Kuku. Myself, John Maninier, the chair of the Bills and Legislation Committee. Again, PS and your team, you are not new to the process and the requirements of my committee, Bills and Legislation Committee. You are here under our powerful privileges. That is what you say to us. You submit to us in this inquiry through your presentation and also verbal presentation. It's within our powers, and it will not be held against you in any law under our laws and constitution. Therefore, I expect you to present to us frankly and with that power, be free to speak to us so that we can have your contribution towards our report writing for our Parliament members. So that is the privilege we have, and thank you too much again for responding to our invitation, appearing in person, and thank you for the understanding. We will now start, and as I'll give you a PS to introduce your team, please introduce into the mic, and then I will allow you to proceed with your presentation. Thank you, PS.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair, for the welcome, and thank you to the members who are here. We are indeed honored to appear before the Bills and Legislation Committee. In terms of, by way of introduction, of course, I'm the PS of Ministry of Health, and with the ministry is the custodian of the DDA, the Dangerous Drugs Act, and I will allow my members to introduce themselves briefly. Thank you. Starting from the left.
Good morning, Honorable Chair and members of the BLC. My name is Nemi Bainivalo. Me, currently Deputy Secretary for Public Health, Health Improvement, the Minister of Health.
Good morning. My name is Solomon Bosa, the Acting Director for National Pharmacy Service Division. So honored to be part of this morning. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Neblomi Michael Jr. Inimai. I'm the Regulatory Affairs Pharmacist.
Good morning, Chair and Committee. My name is Nathan Jacob, Secretary of Service.
Good morning, Dr. Malafasi, CEO NRH.
Good morning, Chair and members of the BLC. Lisa Legal Officer for Ministry of Health.
Thank you so much, PS, for the introduction. I wish to also welcome my committee member, Honorable David Gina. Please, PS, you can now present to my committee.
Thank you, Chair. And on behalf of the Ministry again, we are privileged to be appearing here at the BLC committee. Our appearance here relates to the amendment of our bill on Section 39(2)(a) for the increment of penalties from 100K units, 100,000 penalty units, to 15 million penalty units. What has triggered this situation is because of the fact that we have an outdated DDA that is 84 years old. So therefore we need to update the Act, but at the same time, the fully fledged repeal and replacement of the DDA will come at a later stage. But for this purpose, we are looking at the amendment for the penalties. What triggered this is because of the increase in incidents of meth. We have heard there's been yacht intercepts of meth through the yacht, through post office, there's local sales, there's local manufacturing, distribution of this illicit drug growing around in country, and therefore the urgency for us to look at what can we do to make some amendment, and hence this amendment. But prior to that, there's provision by the minister under Section 15 that he's able to make new rule. To date, on Section 13 of the DDA, there had been only 2 proclamations that's been done in 1988 and 1987, with a new listing of new drugs. That was the only one, but there's provision for the minister to make new rule, and we've had no rules done before the subsidiary rule of the Act has never been done. So that's in itself an inefficiency of the Act. Now, as of November last year, the minister made a new rule which had been gazetted on the 5th of November. The new gazette stipulates that it is now illegal to possess, distribute, supply, manufacture, produce meth in country. So that's the new rule that was placed and gazetted, so it now becomes the new rule. Now, we looked at the penalties of this new rule, and of course the current Act is inadequate. There's low offenses, and like I said, this Act has never been fully fledged reviewed until more recently last year. So with the new rule, and hopefully with the passing of the new amendment, then of course the new rule will apply for the withholding or possessing of meth. The increase from 100,000 to 15 million is justifiable in the sense that the consequences and effects of meth would have huge implication, financial implication and pressure for health services, rehabilitation, infrastructure, recovery programs on individuals who may have gone through this, the effect of meth. It's also further justifiable that 15 million, the proposal amendment for 50 million is justifiable, noting that this is a lucrative business for the manufacturing of meth. It's a huge business, and therefore, with the cost of from our side in terms of providing the services as an end result, this is important for us. But at the same time, the Act also does not provide covering on regulation for synthesis and other precursors of drugs. So I think this is why we have made our new rule to be imposed. So thank you, Mr. Chair, and we await for questions from your committee.
Thank you very much, PS, for your presentation, and thank you for the amendment. Though it's short, I believe its intention is well thought of, and it's there to meet that. I think, as you alluded to, all Act needs amendment, and we are looking at one section that is before the committee. Let me invite my committee members to make comments or ask questions to UPS as you requested and you are ready for. We'll start with, on my right, Member for Auckland, Honourable Matiwale.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. And I join you in thanking PS and Team Black for coming. So last year we had, well, I suppose you couldn't call it a case, but one foreigner was arrested but then couldn't be charged. Is that the situation last year where we give rise to this amendment? And so Olketa police know either they charge them and DPP say, oh no, you can't legally charge them. You are aware of that one last year?
PS?
Thank you, Honourable Matiwale. We are aware of the case, but not fully aware. The drugs, DDA, Dangerous Drugs Act, its intention is purposely for medicinal purposes and not criminal purposes. There are gaps.
Is used for medicinal purposes? ISM used for medicinal purposes?
No.
Oh.
Probably a technical.
Thank you. Please.
Thank you, Honourable Wale, for that. I think in terms of the issue that last year, I think we heard about it, side law that fella experts were doing. But just to clarify the differences between meth and amphetamine. Amphetamine is classified within, captured inside the Pharmacy and Poisons Act, which is mainly for medical purposes, and the concentration is low. But when it's changed the structure, it's become amphetamine. That is where it can be illicit drug. Thank you.
Yeah, I suppose what I'm trying to see is what are we trying to cure? You are a lot of medical man for cure. Eh? What's the social ill trying to cure by proposing this legislation? And going back to that issue, I suppose we'll have to put it to our lawyer back law after you, so we understand the case last year better. I'm surprised you all know have a good law details law case here. I actually, when I heard of it, your amendment bill meetings. Oh, good. They're finally responding to the gaps in the law. CEO?
Yeah, I guess I'm true. With the consultation with the police, I think that's one of the reference as well. How can we handle better the previous case where you raised him here? And I think our area now is really strengthening what's within our normal list, well, the medicinal list, and what is illicit. Yeah, so I think we're trying to get our understanding well on that at the moment. But in terms of working, that's also one reference through the police, our consultation with.
So I mean, I suppose the bottom line is this: with the rule change and this equal upon maximum penalty, this one will happen last year where the releasing money, but him not happen again. If that same repeat, by him money by no walk free.
Thank you, Chair. The current Primary Act, like I said, it's medicinal purposes, but it also provides provision for importation, exportation, and transportation of the drug. But there are gaps in terms of possession, distribution, supply, manufacturing, and
so this amendment is.
This amendment is the new rule is for meth. The new rule is only for meth as per our policy discussion. Now.
But all the gap here, all the gap law, importation.
That's in the current Primary Act of medicinal products.
There no use gap.
A gap is the possession of illicit drugs, where.
So gap by me plug him now or gap by stop it.
The amendment is to provide or discourage probably the deterrent for suppressing trafficking, manufacturing, possession, supplying. That's why we are imposing a heavy penalty on that action.
So pardon me for not being well informed on this matter, but it seems to me, again, CEO, by clarifying law consultation before waiting police and DPP and OKT law, why they could not place charges. If you don't create offenses, then you can't impose penalties. Here you're only increasing penalties. It assumes that there is a base offense, where this one, because this is just one bit of amendment you're doing to your own legislation, it assumes there is an already existing offense. So that one make me a little bit worry. So where is the offense? Offense must be updated to include 1 mm happen and not let the money go free. I'm just specifically targeting that issue, but it is one of the gaps. So every time you talk about gap, but then here penalty no more, if I'll adjust me a little bit concerned.
Yeah, like I said, it's in the new rules for the possession or any illicit drugs.
The copy of these new rules.
It's gazetted on the 5th of November 2025.
Oh, you have a copy?
We do have a copy. We can send it to you.
Please, yeah, that'd be helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the new rule covers illicit drugs, including meth, for the possession, supply, manufacturing, production of illicit drugs. So it can be meth, it can be other things.
Yeah, fentanyl.
I'll give it to my.
Thank you.
If that's an illicit drug, yeah.
That's a illicit drug under the dangerous drug for addiction.
Illicit or licit?
Illicit. It's a illicit drug.
What does meaning illicit?
You can be used in the medical treatments. Yeah.
Thank you, Leader. Honorable Tinkoku used to add.
Thank you, Chair. Me no clear good no must me like repeat him what Leader Blow opposition and me ask him. Firstly, it looks as if though this bill him coming also of the drugs, health issues, no more. No criminal issue or criminal matter. People come with a bill as health issues, no more. There's nothing criminal about it. That's how me read him. Two, him also. Last time of the drugs come, you may not have doing anything. This time, by me not have doing anything too. As leader him say, offenses are not there. You will increase him no more penalty. Increase him penalty. Whether you may decrease him or increase him, same thing no more. By no anything happen. That's what me like for. Put him also for. You will clarify him that one.
Thank you, Chair. Under the Primary Act, Section 40, there's an issue as to why most cases are being acquitted is because of the non-existence of capacity and capabilities for testing. But now, as per our discussion internally, or the way we're going forward with testing, the pharmacy division of NRH has got now rapid tests for drugs, and I think they have 1,000 batches of those rapid tests to make quick testing of illicit drug testing, whether it's cocaine, meth, or other illicit drugs. So we do now have slowly to have those capabilities in place. We are also thinking of setting up our mini CDC version or laboratory for more specific testing of such work. But as we speak, as of last year, we've done a fully comprehensive review of the DDA together jointly with the Ministry of Police. And as we speak, we have re-engaged the technical assistant to provide us with, to work as part of a deliverable is to provide us a fully fledged policy document to replace and repeal the current act that we have. Now, like I said, our capabilities and capacity for testing is a gap for us, but we are working on that. The other thing is probably as per requirements under the Act, there's a time of 3 months to provide evidence. When we don't have the capacity, it can prolong the resources, the availability of that can also prolong our capabilities to respond quickly. So there should be some flexibility as to when this evidence documentation required for prosecution can be made available. Thank you.
3 months, yeah, for what? 3 months, you say, yeah?
It's the time specified under Section 39(6) of the Act to provide the evidence that's required, sufficient to justify prosecution.
To who? Please.
Police or DPP or legal entities. Thank you.
Under Law Police Act?
It's under the DDA Act.
We will amend that one to give the flexibility.
Like I said, we are in the process of making a detailed policy documentation to replace and repeal the DDA, but this will be jointly in partnership with the Ministry of Police so that the framework is more modernized to look at this issue. Okay.
Do we have data on how the extent of this problem? Is it a public health issue you have been surveilling for a while? Or what sort of data do we have?
So monitoring and surveillance of such cases is also a challenge for us. It's a new area. It is a challenge. But as per our report of 2024, we have about 54 cases that's drug-related.
Can you give us a copy of that 2024 report?
Okay, CEO.
Yeah, so we can provide the mental health report when capturing a number of patients who have been admitted drug-related. Now, which drug, that one now we found out. Whether it's meth involved, that one immunogarment in our test blood. But now we have the test. We are going to ensure that any suspected cases, we will have to confirm, because sometimes meth can appear also some other drugs, not to other opiates. I think just for understanding no more, general understanding no more, currently amphetamine is in the DDA. Amphetamine is like the mother structure. So when you have some changes, chemical changes, then go to methyl. So I think the new rule now say now that anything a methyl confirmed screen illegal now, they not add them go more possession, new rules. I remember legal time. So I think have now one new rules have come. The definition, identification, and also the penalties. Take it from my limited understanding.
So perhaps we go to the legal drafts person.
Yes, let me welcome each chambers represented by legal trust person. Yes, leader opposition, you can ask your question to.
Yeah, so before you arrive, we were asking, and now we have copies of the rules. This wala ogat rules ya stop. This wala manual kita sudah hangem bay batot letem go free ya. Hem no go free na ya man lo lasi ya. Ogat rules ya stop man ya sudah go persin ya man.
So, are you referring to the dangerous drugs rules made last year?
There was not very familiar with the case, but there was a foreigner who was arrested, but then go no anything no because there's no offense or something also.
So, depending on the circumstances of the case at the time, and whether the rules were made after the offense was committed.
You're not aware of the case? I mean, our concern is there was a case which demonstrated there is legislative gap, and we're looking at this and saying, okay, we curing that gap or no more? And so we weren't aware of these rules changes, but PSM has drawn our attention to it. So obviously we're wondering, had these rules been in place at the material time, would that case have stood?
So I think the DPP's office would be in a good position to advise on that. But in my, in view of whether the rules, if the rules have commenced already before the offense was committed, then obviously it would apply. But if after, then it cannot apply retrospectively.
No, I'm not asking about retrospectivity, constitution stopping, but I'm asking to test that these rules plug the gap, and that's what from a policy angle, I'm keen to see. So this one, you were confident, me address him, this will gap when exist last year, when that fella case come up, but couldn't be.
Thank you, Chair. The case last year was, if I can recall, took place in August 2025. I think that was the case in Ranandi where there was community circulation of the substance. The new rule was in effect gazetted for in November 2025.
What are you suggesting?
So I'm suggesting that the new rule wasn't applicable then in August 2025.
Yeah. For a while there, I thought you were saying because it's gazetted afterwards that it cures it, but that is not necessarily, I'm not necessarily follow. I'm looking for specifically new rule stop him something from happening again and going unpunished. Is my point, not the chronology of it. I'm all right. I leave him DPP and magistrate come and ask him and police, so we understand the nature of the case itself. My other concern is, and looking at the various notes that we have, we're erring on the side. We may follow New Zealand a little bit here, and over New Zealand there, because me honor in New Zealand too, me school there go because of also what kiwi too. Nice people too much here, man. ECC no more. You know, punish too much. ECC no more. That's the approach we're taking. It's not a zero tolerance approach. And of course, they then paint him as zero tolerance. Me criminalize him and by him just make him hard for deal with him. Well, I am not sure. That's why we ask for data first time. It'd be great if we had some data to inform this policy, so that we know where are we in this curve. Are we at the commencement of it? If I'm not commencement of it, of course we may have a few addicts, but you may stop him there now. Anyone else, traffic him in and out of the country through communities, sell him, possess him, and including personal use, you me hang him now. I can finish him, go. So we take a zero tolerance approach, but this approach, okay, you've got 15 or 20 million or whatever penalty here. That's nothing to these people if we ever catch them. And we'll probably never catch them. Last time, membro loan by Lego fishing law, Ramos, then I'm come. How are you going to catch those people? How are you going to charge them? And a number of jurisdictions are now looking at extraterritorial jurisdiction, something where end up log but money run well, so it allows greater collaboration. Of course, those are issues for police and national security, but it needs to be part of this wider policy discussion, and I'm not seeing it. I want to see the big picture of how this thing is going to be tackled, and then we look in your role in it. Okay, Lord Dangerous Drugs Act, this is what we're doing as part of this bigger picture. But I don't see this bigger picture. It's a problem when we're making law. Is that something you can help us with, or something someone else?
Thank you, leader. Before you take the question, PS, you were also informing the committee of your challenge in terms of capacity, and you speak positively now that with the amendment and tests that you now conduct in your laboratory in the pharmacy division, it sounds encouraging. Maybe you may also add, give us the picture that you already have now that you put this amendment. You're confident you have a team out there to address and tackle this situation for us.
Thank you. Before I give it to Mike, our regulator on pharmacy, in terms of capacity, the government has trained. The government to date has 13 pharmacists. It has trained 36, but 13 no more stay with MUMI, local government. The other 23, they've gone to green patches or have left the country. So still minimal with the increasing challenge that we have now with the new drugs coming, illicit drugs circulating. It's a challenge, low capacity, so we might look at additional HR capacity development. But Mike, who's a regulation officer outside of pharmacy, will probably give us what they do in terms of the capabilities in-house at the moment.
Thank you, Chair. So what MIFAL are doing at the moment is last year we get 1,000 rapid tests, like a PSM Talem, and these tests him fast for doing, and him no need him, like any scientist for him perform. He also have a perform anywhere. For doing now, result a myth testing, and hem not only for med silver, hem also include with opioids like the fentanyl that you just tell him today. So hem for result test, hem purposely for looking the presence of these drugs, low calico blow you, or low basket blow you, or low body blow you through urine. I'm not this for a test hemi capable of doing. And you miss a get him result within few minutes, no more, less than 5 minutes to be exact. Thank you.
Thank you, Director.
Just to compliment him no more. I think with this case, really put him as the Minister of Health to guard, to upon guard blame, like whilst role of ministry on regulation oversight of pharmacies, through the DDA drug. We also have public health, harm reduction, treatment and rehabilitation. So role of los health there, whilst police not for law enforcement bit. So him also call for me now for also strengthening him too, screening, monitoring. I think with the new rules, the role of a chemist, where me assume by function by pharmacist for certify him too the content of the drug. I think him too one of all the tests where but start to roll them out on specific cases.
I had expected that government would have, of course, public health surveillance is a critical part of them, and of course national security surveillance is the other. And in between you have customs, immigration, other law enforcement agencies. And so there would be some data to inform this policy. And then, of course, each agency and the various legislations who are going to implement them take their part in it. So give us a really good comprehensive grasp of what is this problem, what's the size of it, where is it happening, and what's the decisive blow to knock it down, make sure it doesn't happen. I don't get that feeling from this one. You're making a good effort, but it's like you're in the dark, you're feeling your way in the dark, and say, oh, maybe this will work. I mean, 15 million, fine. How do you know that's a deterrent of, stuff that lands on the street anywhere that's transiting through us, that's worth hundreds of millions of US dollars? What's 15 million Solomon dollars? It's not deterrent enough. So there is that aspect, Lohem. There's stuff that's coming, causing harm to us. There's stuff that's coming, causing harm to us, but this is not the final destination. It's going to Australia and Aotearoa. And, so me talk about these long-arm jurisdiction issues first time. We need to be thinking, well, how do we respond to that extraterritorial issues we're raising? So these are not your issues, but you're a critical part of them, and you ought to be part of this much bigger. And I'm just not getting that much bigger picture clearly.
Thank you, Chair. Like I said, we're in the process of re-engaging our technical assistant who's putting together our drug control policy, which would replace the DDA. Now, as of last year, we brought in a joint cabinet paper for the establishment of a task force that's inclusive of key line ministries to include customs, immigration, finance, of course, health and police. So we are yet to convene the first meeting for the task force. So that will be an inclusive mechanism to bring everyone so that it's more coordinated. There's information sharing and where we can connect as well. So right now, as we would appreciate, it's a bit ad hoc at the moment. Yes. But with the establishment of this task force, we want to ensure that it's we are much more collaborative. So the task force has already been passed by cabinet. We are yet to convene the first inception meeting, and this will be co-shared by both the Ministry of Health and Police jointly together with, of course, coordination from the Prime Minister's office. Thank you.
Yeah, so here, 15 million maximum and life imprisonment. You mean life imprisonment? No minimum man go stop lo there go him dialo persini. But that's what it should mean. The normal ordinary man also mean no understanding anything lo law. Time him life money go lifetime. I mean him no lifetime. Him go for die time. Him go die inside rotten come inside lo there. And this is one category where you should be moved in that direction here. If we take a nice softy touch approach, and that's my impression, 15 million in lifetime. Lifetime, well, every sentence you go in lo there, you enter normal gate lo person, third of the sentence, I'm out now because you look nice bola. Out him now. And then if you time pass to go visit and you sing big, you cry and narrow, or out him nar 2-3 years more from. Then money baro good mas. Or even move him lo tetere. If you go plant him saka cassava, down him go more, release him go community. They're not your issues, but they're part of this bigger, broader picture where we're not getting a glimpse of. And I'm just not convinced this approach is what is needed at this stage in this particular problem. Because I don't know what the state of the problem is, but I am assuming we're in the beginning phases, and this is a problem. If you may get to what Fiji is now, it'll be a very difficult problem to tackle. We can still tackle it here, but my gut feel is not by soft touch, soft responses. It's by hitting it right in the forehead and knocking it over. Me favor death penalty, who's in Singapore and another place here. And also, in some Muslim countries, we got garem Sharia law, cut him finger and also. Kind also means which partner we cut him, but something also. For man, but this is serious. We advertise it at the board before you board them. Solomon Airlines lo Brisbane. We tell them now, hey, you got anything? You okay? By Dr. Nehemiah, wait for you lo airport. Also, man for it. But I just don't get the sense of it. In the absence of that big picture and the data and therefore the approach.
Thank you, Chair. The whole amendment was triggered by, the increase in incidents that we've had since 2016, Gogo Kasem last year. And of course, we are also seeing some linkages between Matthews and from our side, the increase of HIV. So we are yet to, there's an increase of HIV, I would say, and trying to establish the relationship between the Matthews and HIV cases. As of last year, we've had a rise of HIV cases to about 26 new cases. So, of course, there might be some indirect linkages between Matthews and HIV. And the cases that we have seen is more prevalent between of young people below the age of 30 years old.
Lower?
In Honiara.
All of them in Honiara?
Yes.
Problem no go outlaw.
Our next hotspot would be Malaita.
Hey, yeah? Choice a little bit.
Maybe I can.
Good for you. They're in Auki.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you for Honourable for your point. I think, as mentioned by the PS, I think the other components that am linked with him, methamphetamine use or power or meth or ice, as they say, I think looking at the various modes of HIV transmission that can be from the users, yeah. So hence, looking at other information and data from other countries, such as in Fiji, I think that's one deterrent of why this is important for reducing the public health risks of, for example, for disease such as HIV and so forth. But I think it's not only HIV in terms of transmission of those that are injecting ice or power and so forth. There's other diseases that can also be spread, for example, hepatitis B, C, and so forth. So I think it's also a preventive measure for us from a public health point of view to actually reduce and actually mitigate the illegal use of methamphetamines or ice or power for that matter. In terms of, as mentioned before, in terms of the geographical spread of cases, I mean it's in various locations across the country where Mifala waka with him various provincial health authorities and our focal points from Mifala lo provinces and also in Honiara on how to cater for services for those who have HIV in terms of treatment, follow-up, testing, and so forth. So to go into greater detail in terms of in individual cases, I think I'll probably not want to share due to patient confidentiality and so forth, but it's a matter that we also have to look into what would taking proactive steps as well from us from in terms of mitigating sexually transmitted disease such as HIV and so forth. Yeah, so I think probably that's my comment with regards to this matter.
So we'll raise it with the other agencies when they come. I mean, we're interested to know what come log ships here, or what come mine ships, or what come yachts, or what come Solaire, or Qantas, or what come more time cyclone come and bloom come, or what come at vessels where member loan by Lego find them cause of Ramos here, or and therefore these other agencies will then say, okay, well, we're taking these steps to make sure every ship comes. That's all part of this important part of this response. But in terms of your amendment, you are increasing normal maximum penalty to 15 million and life. I can understand life with the limitations, low life sentence, but 15 million, and I mean no understanding how you arrived at the 15 million. And how that 15 million would be a deterrence. It just is not obvious to me how you arrived at it.
Thank you. Yes, John Tinko, please add.
Me similar consent to like what leader opposition tell him. This amendment, yeah, I'm too general. Araba too general now. Any deterrence, disruption as crimes or supply chain, protection of our youths, our people and our community. Everyone had to get a penalty blame, not that one.
Sorry, Honorable Dean, can you please rephrase your question? Thank you.
The question is, amendment here, one specific one, 15 million or life sentence, life imprisonment. If I use him that one for traffickers, organized crimes, or organizers of the crimes, the importers, the sellers, distributors, the consumers, everyone same number.
Thank you. That's the understanding with the new rule. Who supplies, possesses, distributes, manufactures, and produces meth, then the application for the penalty applies, but probably the legal drafter can look at it. Like I said, the DDA is 84 years old. For the 15 million, unfortunately, we didn't really establish the basis as to why we came up to that figure, but that was a consensus agreement with the consultation.
Let me come back to your piece.
Thank you.
There will be categories of offenders. The importers, the suppliers, distributors, special dealers, consumers, and we apply the same thing. We apply the same penalty. My consent, we apply the same penalty. The big boys and the small child penalty. Sampal sabi talk English good to us, sampal no talk it. Same penalty. That's what you are bringing in now. That's what I'm saying. Which categories offenders will get much higher? So sorry, the importers higher than the consumers will take a severe penalty, or both same no more.
Thank you, Chair. Right now, it's more generic with the amendment, but coming back to the categories, it will be part of that review of the policy that we are working on. Thank you.
Thank you, PS. If Ms. Ave also add law, what colleague John Tin Kugo hemi ask him, just if I traction him go him Arab source blow, or the rural people, they don't know anything about this legislation. So how now by you ensure that justice hemi law okata no sem man where hemi they can come and then come sell him, okata mania just use normal law village, they know nothing. Are they going to receive the same penalty? If in that case, what do you have in plan for okata people osemia? No program here. By you go on a radio program or by you call villages here just to let people know, because we know as imtar heremia mkoko lokata by kiacha to our rural population their source awesome. Thank you, PS.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. And I think that's a very valid concern in terms of what penalties shall we apply to various categories, noting that an ordinary person would not have the capacity to pay up as opposed to the high-level top person who manufacture and produce or trade. So we note that concern. I guess in our proposal going forward, and hopefully with the policy document coming into effect before June, is the fully fledged policy document for that would stipulate better the various penalty that relates to various categories, whether it's a village community person as opposed to the trader or manufacturer. Thank you.
Thank you, PS. We follow up normal what leaders said earlier or alluded to, that this is the time where Imtala must address him now. Imtala must pin him down and harm him good now. Our legislation and the legal framework that we need to have to safeguard our future and future generation. And now time, that is why I think from the perspective of the committee, we are yet to really sort of comforted with just the vision and the plan. But IMTAL also understand them. There are others stakeholders that they will come, like Okata police, Okata where Okata look after justice system IMTAL. So by me got an opportunity for asking more. But to you, PS and your team, that is where me fala lulu this will amendment and me fala come away them. Okatintinam. Tin you.
Yeah.
Well, yes, please.
One for question for Aegis Chamba, you shall clarify. This amendment, him complementing penal code.
Thank you. Legal draftsperson?
Thank you, sir, for that question. So this is a specific amendment to a penalty provision in the Dangerous Drugs Act, and penal code has a lot of different penalties for different offenses as well, criminal offenses, but this one is specifically for dangerous drugs that fall under this act.
My follow-up question, can we include this in the penal code as well, if we could recommend it? This is a crime here. It is not a health issue. It is a criminal crime, criminal matter. It's the difference.
Thank you, Sir. I think that's a very important point raised there. That is matter for the responsible ministry to develop a policy on instructors further.
Yeah. Yes, any comment on that?
Thank you, PS.
Thank you very much. We will be in the process of, like I said, to review the policy, and we take note of the comments, concern, and hopefully we'll include that in the policy. We're hoping to bring the fully fledged replacement of the DDA this year, jointly with the Ministry of Police and other stakeholders. So, like I said, the DDA will be repealed and replaced, and that's the suggestion in consultation with all our stakeholders. Thank you.
Chair.
Yes, please, sir.
I'm a little bit worried. Even you can 1 million each, population very small. One pala load, canoe load of meat, no more. Poor population, no good now. What are we waiting for? You mean like him, can we arrive finished before you work him or something? Is there any other better alternative that IMS are doing for fixing this one quickly, to fix it quickly? No problem with a meeting and another meeting, another task force. The matter is already here with us right now. We know it. No matter IMI meeting, maybe talk about the same thing, him arrive finished now. Awesome. Are there any better alternatives that IMI go quick one no more? So that IMI country blame me and people blame me. Low one per position where I'm a little bit good before and we arrive. No matter small pipe problem, I think by full country and no good blame me. Wow, pharmacist, one pipe full of meat by him, all right?
Thank you, colleague. Yes,
Thank you, Dean Minister. I think in terms of pharmaceutical perspective, our country have a lot of products that can convert into meth. So every private pharmacy this time, yeah, Watagarem, a lot of products, for example, pseudoephedrine, when you compound them together and become meth in certain temperature. So you don't mean someone from outside by come inside and establish those meth. Meth is already here in the country. It's just a matter of people, for you, setting guidelines. Always pharmaceutical have to be within the law to avoid those things. So I think in terms of pharmacy perspective, we are doing a lot of monitoring as well as in every, especially for private pharmacies, believe me. That is where a lot of things have happened. Even the import of medicines, classified amoxicillin, but inside low amoxicillin, yeah, different something inside. So the gap that we face, as Madam PSM mentioned, is the testing, on-site testing, and immediate timing of the result. I think that's the gap that we face, that the immunoservice has him, what people blame me when we detect them. Thank you, Honorable.
Thank you. I'm just making me join him colleague here for 6 seconds now. It's really here with us. And, you know, expertise with here, technical expertise, look here finished now. And so, PS, we can't wait. All blow colleague, Din Kuku, Din Embara, valid and urgent one, yeah. Because even for ourselves now, we need to really address and look after those people in terms of amendments now. At the moment, we are just looking at coming in. I'm already here, and as the director has confirmed to the committee, it can be manufactured, it can be made here. And for him to tell him, if him go now, or some so here is agency, and the committee would like to praise that to you, PS, that him turn time for wait. Let's address it quickly and holistically. Awesome. In terms of the amendments, like for prelim committee, I'm ready. Committee waiting you, but we need that urgently. Make a more bills come. You could comment on that, PS?
Thank you, Chair. Well, we are a bit delayed with this whole thing, and the incidents that have occurred has triggered us to come up with a new rule as well as put in the amendment for the penalty. So we acknowledge that we are delayed, but we are also need to step up, given the urgency to address this issue. So we'll be working closely with the task force that has already been established, and of course with the AG to also look at what else can we do with the Primary Act that to address this matter urgently, while waiting for our new policy to come in place for the repeal of the Primary Act. Thank you.
Chair, maybe legal draft person, you help me understand a little bit. Law explanatory memorandum law bill here, those four. Let me just read him, and by me stress law area where I came for you. Help me follow him. Clause 4 provides that the bill amends Section 39 of the Principal Act, providing for a conviction against the Act for which no penalty is provided. Which no penalty is provided. Me, law street, me interpret him also me. No any penalty law there. No any penalty now. This bill, by him creating one penalty, by him no penalty. It doesn't him what it means? Are we creating a penalty where there is no penalty?
Thank you.
Help me understand, please.
Yes, please, legal trust person.
Thank you, sir. I think it means, or according to what is stated there against Clause 4, that there are other offences applicable under the Act, but there is no specific prescribed penalty for that offence. So that offence would trigger the penalty in this amendment.
Who determines that penalty?
It is a judicial discretion by the courts. That's why it has a maximum penalty attached to it.
But when you report him go to judicial grouping here, you report him, someone committing an offence here. So, who, or determination law offense here, courts, yeah? But who not choose him that this one no penalty by me charge him money alone?
As long as there's an offense that is applicable under the Act, current Act, and which has no specific or prescribed penalty, then that would be applicable in that circumstance. Thank you.
Thank you, legal trust person. PSN team, and let me call our session to close. I think if we have had enough information sharing in the morning, and we'll wait for other stakeholders in the inquiry schedule to come before the committee. We'll again get their views on this amendment and what they are in terms of responsibility towards the whole responsibility to address this particular issue where we are amending the Act to provide for. Thank you too much for coming before the committee, and again we will look forward to your session with us again after we finish with all the stakeholders. Waiting that one, very good morning and good afternoon to time you go out. Thank you too much.
Thank you, Chair.